Previously, Yuya was bullied his entire life by everyone and even his parents. The only person who ever cared for him was his grandfather, who recently passed away but left an inheritance for Yuya. His parents were unable to obtain the inheritance from Yuya, so they disowned him. Then Yuya tried to save a girl from a ruffian, but the poor thing was beaten too badly. But then he discovered a secret door in his house that led him to a magical world, where he obtained a level-up system and many powerful weapons, and then one night his body transformed, making him a handsome guy. Later, that girl found Yuya and invited him to join the academy she attends. Aozan Academy was an elite school with wonderful students and teachers, so Yuya didn't let this opportunity pass him by. So, if you enjoy the anime, please subscribe to the channel. Now, as the story progresses, Yuya was leveling up in the dark forest. Being tired when he was about to return, he heard a loud scream. As he followed the sound, Yuya saw a baby wolf being beaten badly by an king orc. As peeked through his status, Yuya got hesitate while his attack power far surpassed his own, so he was thinking of running away. But that's when he remembers what his grandfather taught him, so Yuya mustered all of his courage to face that orc, but as he threw his spear, it just took it out on a single shot. Yuya was surprised, but it made sense since he took out an ogre while he was only at level 1. Then he immediately took out his healing potion for the baby wolf, and it healed him. He then asked about his parents, but that wolf had no idea where they were, so Yuya invited him to stay at his house. It showed an unlocked taming skill for Yuya, and as for its stats, that's a strong black Fenrir wolf. That king orc had dropped some pretty nice items that came in handy for that wolf, so Yuya named it Night. Then Yuya returned to his daily life, and in school he asked for help getting some shopping for his dog. Kaide was super excited, and no one else was free to accompany him. Kaide offered her help and bought Night a pretty collar. Then Yuya takes Night for a walk to the garden, where everyone can't get enough of Yuya's look. Even a strange old man says hello as he passes by. The combination of a cute dog and his looks flatters everyone. Then Yuya ran into Kaori there, as she was also there taking a walk. Yuya introduced Night to Kaori, and that moment just made people around them admire and be jealous at the same time. Night was responding rather smartly, so Kaori was curious about his breed, and Yuya just made up a story that he took him in, but there Mio saw Yuya again. Yuya and Mio had done a photo shoot together, and Yuya had saved her from her degenerate colleague, so she had already fallen for Yuya from that time. And now they met again in the park while Kaori was already there. Well, Mio lives nearby, so she always takes a walk around the park. So now she was looking forward to seeing Yuya every day as he comes by for a walk with Night. As a result, Kaori felt a sting in her heart and later Mio left. Being sad from it, Kaori asked Yuya about his relationship with Mio, and Yuya cleared out that she's just a friend while being panicked, but then a thief just stole an old lady's purse. So Yuya released Night to catch him and bring him back as he and Kaori tend to the old lady. Kaori called the cops just as Yuya tells her, but that man was to murder her in order to save himself. But Yuya once again saved Kaori's life. Then Night and Yuya returned to another world to level up by defeating as many monsters as they could. Night was still a kid, yet his powers were awesome for his age. But they came across a crystal deer with stars that was even higher than the Orc King. Yuya was considering whether to take him on while he casted an invisible magic, but that deer had a kin sense that noticed Yuya's presence instantly. It was too late to back out, so Night took the first charge, and the deer blocked Night with its fire and shot an ice ray at Yuya, so Night created an opening for Yuya to strike it down. And the deer dropped some valuable item, including a bath, which Yuya appreciated more than anything else. Then comes another prey for Yuya and Night, and as they beat that one as well, Yuya finally managed to raise his level a bit, and nothing beats the pleasure of a bath after a long day of hard work. But then Night found a cave and was leading Yuya in excitement further inside only to find a skull of the sage holding the book of a sage, that very same sage whose weapon and power Yuya is using. Yuya opened the book and in its journal, Sage stated that he had obtained the same level of power as God, but when they invited him, Sage declined due to his powers were so great that other mortals began to fear him, so he built his house in the middle of that monster forest. But in the last pages, Sage had given a wish for Yuya, so he wanted to learn magic and stuff. Yuya was from another world, so he didn't have natural innate talent for that, so Sage set his own innate ability called Pathway in Yuya. So when Yuya returned, the first thing he did was to awaken the capabilities of magic with Night. As they tried out with water spell, they succeeded in their first attempt, but that water ball is a little too deadly if used against someone. Then the scene shifts to the king of the Arzelia kingdom. Well, earlier Yuya had saved the princess, and the princess was taken by Yuya's magic, heroic and handsomeness that she outright proposed him her hand in marriage, and when the king heard this, he was so enraged that he began demolishing his own castle room. Anyway, Yuya returned to his daily life in the real world, but even though he was in class, his mind was still thinking about the magic he had learned. So the teacher just announced an off-campus trip to learn and adapt in a new environment, and for this trip, Yuya was teamed up with Kaide, Rin, and Akira. But it was Yuya's first trip, so he lacked the proper items to go for traveling, so everyone met after class near the mall for shopping. Ryuyo and the others were surprised to see that Yuya was familiar with the chairman's daughter. Her name is Kaori. There she picks up a perfect bag for Yuya that everyone liked her choice. There on the arcade, Shingo was fanboying over his idol's model on a crane game, so Yuya used his magic to see its weak point and win that model over for Shingo. Yui showcased his crane prowess once more when others asked him to get their favorite thing out of that crane game for him. Then girls took off to have some personal girl shopping and boys hit the cafe for refreshment, but an emergency alarm rang alerting them to evacuate because the fire had broken out due to a short circuit. They rolled the call to girls to know if they were safe, but bad luck for them that they didn't get out in perfect time and now they are stuck on 13th floor. Yuya couldn't let them be harmed like that and ran off to the 13th floor. That entire floor was on fire, so Yuya recalls the use of water magic and surrounds his body with it before jumping in and finds 3 of them unconscious. Yuya took all of them out of there by breaking the floor beneath and dropping down directly on the ground floor. Kaori's father was once again grateful to Yuya for saving his daughter. It was getting awkward for Yuya by the time, but then at the end, a sacred rabbit was being attacked by a girl corrupted with magic. So he decided to pass down his techniques to someone and stop that mysterious girl. So, who is the girl causing a commotion in that magical world? Stay tuned and subscribe to the channel for the latest updates.